What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? So welcome to Friday's episode. So Monday and Tuesday are our topics. So on Monday, we discussed how the private sector needs to accept the White House's invitations to the cybersecurity conferences and meetups that they have and how that's going to be impactful in the future. On Tuesday, we talked about a new Google search scam for the USPS where people are being asked for information when they try and track a package that can be used to steal their identities as well as they're being charged for it. And then on Wednesday, we discussed how GDPR is slowing down the expansion of threads into the EU and kind of how that will have impacts in the near future. But he has, like, Mark Zuckerberg has infinite money. He'll make it work. He will fix the situation to get over there. And just how they already have over 70 million users, and it just launched on Wednesday, so it's not even a week old yet. And then today it's everything else, so movies, books, games, all that good stuff. So with that being said, Shannon, how was your week?
Man, it was good, man. Actually, last couple of weeks we didn't do show last week.
Yep. How was your 2 weeks?
It was pretty good, man. The children enjoyed the 4th. My youngest son let him light a few fireworks under the supervision of myself and my oldest son, so he enjoyed himself doing that. Has all his fingers, so he made out it was success, right? It was a success if he has all his fingers. So that was pretty good. Been watching a few things. I'm gonna tell you something I'm really disappointed in, man. I don't know if you've been watching it, but Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
I'm watching Secret Invasion. What's your thoughts? I want to ask you.
I hope they're getting somewhere.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
It was like we're 3 episodes in at this point, and I'm like, you have to do so much in
There's
these
only 6.
Only 6.
Right.
Yep. So you got to do so much in these last 3 to where it's like you got to make it worth it, right? Like, to me, it seems like Samuel L. Jackson is mailing it in, like he's just phoning it in, like, I don't really want to be here, but I'm Fury, so I got to do it. But that could all be playing out in the story. I don't know.
Yeah, because I think they're trying to play up how old he is. I mean, like Samuel Jackson's actually like pretty old. He just ages very well.
Yeah.
So I think they're trying to play up his oldness, right? Like, you saw him sit on the bench and he was like just worn out. I think all that's a play for him being, the badass Nick Fury is. It's just they're hitting the genre perfect. This is what conspiracy espionage is. It's just, this is the MCU. I needed some people to do some superpowered stuff, right? I think that's the rub. I always talk about it like this is B team. Like, even though it's Nick Fury who assembled the Avengers, right? This is still B team caliber stuff. They can't do nothing that's too crazy because then they would need the Avengers for that. And that's just not what the show is about. So whenever you come back down to the B tier, it gets kind of boring down there.
Yes, that's definitely the case. That is definitely the case. Yeah, it is not that great, but I'm gonna stick it out. I'm gonna ride it out. I think I'm just invested so heavily in the MCU right now.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't just give up on it. But I know when Wednesday comes around, I'm kind of like, I could wait to watch that. You know what I mean? Like, it
Right.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday before I watch it. But yeah, a little disappointed in that, but we'll see if it picks up. Been watching Strange New Worlds, Star Trek, Strange New Worlds. That's a good series. The last couple episodes have not been as great as the first 2. Like, the first 2 started out with a bang, and the second one was a court drama for the second one. And it was good. Like, there was no real action, but I was like, yeah, that's a good episode still. You know what I mean? So to everybody out there, I don't just need anybody to shoot anybody, despite what I say. I don't need anybody to just shoot somebody, stab somebody, have all out violence. But the last 2 have been a little different. This last week's episode was a play on the first episode of the original series, right? So
okay.
I think was the name of it, but it's a play on that. So if you're a fan and you've watched the first one, you'll know what it's getting off to. I've never seen that episode. I talked to somebody that is a very big Star Trek fan, it's like, oh yeah,
Right.
played on this, the third. So I'm like, oh, okay. So that kind of makes sense on why they did this, why they did that. But that was pretty good. Been watching so there's two different documentaries that are out there on the American Gladiators, right? There's one that's on Hulu, that's a 30 for 30 that ESPN did,
Okay.
and then there's one on Netflix. The one that's a 30 for 30 that ESPN did, it more follows the guy that started it, Johnny Farrow, or Johnny Ferraro is the guy's name. There's only 2 episodes of it, but I got through the first and I was like, okay, I'm done with that one, because this guy just
Mm.
seems like a con man that is just like, there are questions he just won't answer on there, and I'm like, okay, well, if you're not willing to be honest in this documentary, or you don't want to address some things, you're not. I'm not getting a lot of honesty out of what's
Right.
happening here. You know what I mean? So I stopped watching that one. Then I went over to the Netflix one, where it's a lot of the gladiators, because in the one that's the 30 for 30, there were several of the American gladiators that didn't want to participate in it because it was more a story about the guy that started it, and they just were not a fan of his. Like they I think they know what I figured out in the first episode, that this guy's a con.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they didn't participate. But in the one on Netflix, it's got a lot of those old American gladiators in it. At least the primary ones, right, that you remember, talking about how it was and how they were injured all the time. Like, I used to watch American Gladiators because I was like, this is cool.
Yeah.
But to hear them tell it, like, they showed like the first 13 episodes. I was like, I don't even remember that. I don't think I saw the first 13 episodes, because it was ghetto, like the way it
Oh yeah.
looked. Oh man.
Okay.
I was like, I do not remember the joust looking like this. So at one point, like, so you know how the joust, they had them on the 2 pedestals and
Yeah.
whatnot, they doing whatever. It didn't start out like that. Like, there was a long like boardwalk, and you would get pushed back to your side, and the floor would fall out. Was
Oh, okay.
I never saw that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Me
never
neither.
I was like, I didn't even know that's how it started, but that's how it started. So they were like, it wasn't even jousting. It was just you pushing someone back to whichever way. And they talk about how they brought in a Marine um to teach them how to do like jousting and whatnot. He really taught
Yeah.
the contestants better. So the contestants were whipping up on the gladiators for a while. The gladiators came to him like, yo, man, come on, like, help us out here.
Right.
But it's actually a pretty good documentary. I think there's 5 episodes of that, and I got through the first 2. So I'm probably going to continue watching that. Horizon, man, Forbidden West. I am 97 hours into it, and
Oof.
I don't even think I'm close to finishing. I do not think I am close to it. Like, I'm telling you, man, like, every time I find another campfire, there's somebody there with a mission, or there's somebody that's
Right.
like, hey, like, come sit down and listen to me talk about this other thing that's going on. And then another quest pops up. I'm like, well, I gotta at least see what that quest
Right.
is.
Right.
So 90, I think it was 97 hours and 47 minutes or something like that. I checked it this morning. I was like, how am I so deep into this? Like, but the thing is, like, when I played the first one, like, I played more consistent, like, on the weekend, like, if my wife didn't come get me or didn't need anything, I would just stay down here playing, just be like, all right, let me get something to eat, come back, do it again. But like, so I'm not that consistent with it. But over the last few weeks, um, 97 hours is what I put in. So I'm like, geez, Louise, man, this is a lot. Um, but I think that's kind of it. Like, the video gaming is what's taking up a lot of my time. I'm just getting this out the way so that when Spider-Man drops
Yeah, I
in
was gonna say Spider-Man. Yeah, this fall you'll be ready.
yeah, like, I don't have anything holding me up. You know what I mean? So, but that's pretty much been it for me. Not a lot of TV watching. I've watched those few things, um, and then video gaming. So, how about you, man?
For the most part, just still Zelda. So I think I'm over 75 hours in. I'm starting to do side quest stuff because I was starting to mainline it, and I was seeing where people were just like, "Don't do that." Like the internet was like, "Don't like," because you'll get to the end of it and you'll be like, "Okay, cool," and then you'll start doing the side quest. You'll be like, "I could have used that," or that would have been cool to have. Like I found a whole extra ability um, that you could get at the very beginning, but you could just miss it until the end of the game. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go do some side quest stuff, and I found it, and I was just like, yo, this would have been very handy a couple dungeons ago. But now I still have it for the next few dungeons. So I kind of got in the middle of the game. It's called auto build, right? So you just things that you've built, because I don't know if you've seen like videos of Zelda, like you make these crazy contraptions, but it takes time. You have to think about it, but you'll find schematics for new stuff, like they'll inspire you to have ideas and things of that nature, or the things that you built, it'll remember it. So then you can just scroll down and find it. And then if you have the materials, it'll build it out for you. So it's pretty cool. I'm gonna make sooner or later, I'm gonna make a Megazord and, and terrorize the enemies throughout Hyrule, but I haven't found all the pieces yet. But yeah, it's a great game. I've made it through uh I'm almost done with the third dungeon, because you know Zelda. So I did the wind one, I did the water one, and I'm on the fire one. And that's why I decided, okay, I need to pivot before I fight the fire dungeons boss. And that's when I found this ability. Like it's just there's always something to find, right? There's always another question mark. There's always another like I've been finding treasure maps, so there's always another X on the map somewhere to try to uncover. There's a lot of depth there. I can see myself playing it for over 100 hours easy. Like I said, I'm only halfway done. I'm at 75 hours. Um, so I've been playing that. Honestly, I'm getting ready myself. Like, yeah, Spider-Man is definitely on the horizon, but I'm getting ready for Mortal Kombat 1. I'm excited. Like I kind of want a fighter, and they've rebooted one of my favorites of all time, right? So I'm just like, I kind of want to jump on that. That's out in September, so I still have some time for that. And then I've been watching Junior play Diablo. He's trying to hit level cap on a character. I think he's like at level 60 on one of his characters. And he has like 5 days of gameplay, right? So you go to the timer, it goes by days, like it goes hours, then it starts to roll the days. Last time I checked, he had like 4.5 days. I was like, you know how many hours that is?
As in a day is 24 hours?
Yeah.
Ooh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so he's really been getting it in, and I'm not mad at it. Like the game is pretty. Every time I look at it, it's very pretty. It's very detailed. It's very stat based. Like he's actually using his brain, right, to maximize his characters and things of that nature. So I let him roll with it. But I'm living vicariously through him because I can't do it. I cannot play something that detailed that asks for so much of you. Like for him to hit a level 100, it's going to take him weeks. Like even at the pace he's playing.
You know what's crazy is that coworker I was telling you about before that was trying to get, well, first off, he got to a level 100, right? He didn't do hardcore, but a level 100.
Yeah.
And he was at 93 before the 4th of July weekend, and he hit 100 over that weekend. So like he put the time in. But he was telling one of my other coworkers, he was like, from going up to level 75, he said you'll need that same amount of the way he worded it, like it's the same amount of effort and it's the same amount of, you have to, like it's
Oh,
harder
so
still to go
from 1 to
75
75 is going to be the same amount of effort you would go from 75 to 100?
to 100. Yes. I
No.
was like, what? He was like, yeah. And like I said, he was at 93 before the 4th of July weekend, then he got to 100. And now he's like, he's still playing it though. Like he's not done. He's like, now I'm
Yeah.
gonna be this different type of character or something like
Yeah,
that. I'm
different
not,
classes.
yeah,
Yeah.
different class. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Different class of character. And I'm like, but you've won, right? Like you're at 100. Like, so I'm thinking to myself, having never played Diablo, like that's my thinking about it. And they're like, no,
Right.
you can do this and that and the third. So Junior, when he gets up there, he's gonna be like, all right, now I'm gonna switch it up and do this now.
Right. Right. Yeah, because he has a like because I think his druid is the class that he has the highest, but he has like a necromancer and a sorcerer, and they're all like in their 40s and 50s. So he's put in time on those characters too. I'm just
So,
like,
so wait a minute, he already has multiple characters?
mhm. Yep.
What?
Yep, he'll hit like because they all have plateaus. He'll hit a plateau with one. He'll be like, I'm gonna start a new character. So then he'll start another one, and then later on he'll I guess he'll either learn something or he'll figure out like this dungeon gives extra XP or whatever, and then he'll go back to the other character and take them there to grind and kind of level them up. But his highest one is a 60. I think it's like a 57 or a 60.
So if you add them all up, like if he's got 3 or 4 characters, he's probably over 100 at this point. He could have been over
Right, he
100.
could have been 100 with one
Yeah.
character. Yeah.
One character.
Yeah, but
Oh.
he's getting his money's worth. Like for $70, I mean he's gotten more than $70 worth of value out of it. So I can't be mad. And I'd rather him get out of the system now before school starts than you know than to just be picking it up there in the fall. So yeah, go ahead, get out your system.
You're gonna
Um
catch him. You're gonna catch him at night in the game room, like lights on, and be like, "Hey man, what are you doing? Get in
and
the bed."
that's exactly why they don't have console in his room.
Yeah.
Right there. Um But no, so far so good. I think like yeah, I'm getting ready for MK1 because I was gonna get Street Fighter. I was looking at it. I was like, I kind of want a fighting game. I haven't had one in a while. I'm never good at them, but I like to have one in rotation. that I at least know the mechanics. So I was gonna get Street Fighter 6, and then I saw MK1 is coming out in September. I'm just like MK1 would be fun to play with my son as opposed to Street Fighter.
What are they changing? Is there a video out or anything of like?
Yeah, yeah, they have lots of media out right now. Uh, it's basically they changed like so. I guess the last one I didn't play all the way through it, but in the last one they reboot the timeline, and then this one is like this is MK1. This is them starting fresh. There's a funny video out there. It was like "Hey, all the things you could have did in the world, possibly, you decided to in this reboot go to a tournament that will ultimately kill you. But like the fatalities are ridiculous. Like just it's gruesome, gory, and funny, right? Just the inventive ways that they decided to do fatalities. But mechanically, they have a tag up system. It's called Cameo, so you can match up different characters. So you can do like Scorpion and Jax, or you can do Sonya, Johnny Cage, whatever. And that character, when you tag them in, has a different move set depending on what character you paired them up with. So there's a little bit more depth in that arena. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. As opposed to you always knowing what these characters can do. Like there'll be more of I need to learn what these pairings will do for the gameplay. I'll never get great at it, right? Like I'm never going to master it or whatever, but it'll be a fun time. It'll get me through like if I get in September, it'll get me through the rest of the year.
When you first said it, I was just like, why would you just want to do that again? But okay, they're changing it up a little bit when they re-release. It's not like they just prettied it up, made the graphics.
No, no, yeah, they've done some new mechanics. Every time I watch the gameplay, obviously it's gameplay being played by people who know what they're doing. That's the rub of it. I'm gonna get it. I'm not gonna do any of that for a long time. And then when I finally start to get the mechanics, something else will come out. So, but it looks pretty. Like it looks fun. It looks pretty. So I'll probably pick it up in September. There's nothing really on my agenda until Spider-Man, and then what's it called? The big game coming out from Bethesda. Oh man, what is it called? It's coming out Xbox exclusive, Bethesda, Starfield. So I'll probably pick up Starfield because I'm kind of jonesing for some kind of sci-fi epic sprawling game, right? Um, and that's really on my agenda. So it'll be MK, Spider-Man 2, and then Starfield. And I'm sure Starfield, it's a Bethesda game. It might come out more polished because they're owned by Microsoft, but ultimately it's like their games are so big, they're always janky. It's just the way it is. Like it can't QA it tire. I think they said they're gonna have like 1,000 planets that you can explore, like land on planet, and then there should be stuff on it. Yeah. A lot of it's going to be procedurally generated, but they said they'll have missions on everywhere you go. There'll be something to do. So I'll be playing that game for a decade. So it is what it is. And then while I'm playing it, they'll keep evolving it, right? Like that's kind of what they do with these massive games when they come out. So I'm interested. I just know it won't hold my attention forever. It'll be something that ebbs and flows. You know, like oh, okay, there's a new patch. I'm gonna go pop it in that type of situation. Um, but that's pretty much it for the fall. So I don't have much on my plate. I know Zelda will keep me busy. I gotta go get tickets for the Barbie movie. I don't know. I think we talked about that a couple weeks ago. My daughter's like, we are going to go see Barbie
She
movie.
she she, she put the mandate down.
Yeah. So I need to go reserve our seats. I think that's at like the 20th or 21st or something like that. So that weekend I'll make sure we have some good seats at the good movie theater. Um, aside from that, man, just I've been doing a lot of interviews on the podcast. I've been getting a lot of people and oh, that does remind me. So speaking of that, I watched Kevin Hart's reality check on Peacock. He has a new special. I don't know if you've seen it. So yeah, if you go to
Oh.
Peacock, he has a new special on Peacock. It's pretty funny. It's not his funniest. I don't think he'll ever be better than his first special. His first special was hilarious. I watched it today and it still made me laugh till I cry. That's how funny he was. He's still funny. It's just you get used to a comedian, right? Like I kind of know where he's gonna go, like, or what he's gonna say. In this one, it was
We
pretty
went
good.
we went to the show years ago when we
Yeah,
were in Virginia. Remember, I can't remember the year, but like we went to the one year. It was probably like 2012 ish,
yeah,
like
yep,
that. We went,
yep.
yeah.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's like comedy shows in person are always funnier. I don't know if it's the energy or what, but like they're always like, but it was still a funny show. He's not not funny. it's just he's been around for a minute. He's dropped a lot of specials. His last special on Netflix, I didn't think it was that funny. Um, his movies are always pretty good.
Is that the one from his house when he was in his house during
Yeah, yep,
COVID?
during COVID. Yeah. I was just like, man, it gave me something to do during the pandemic, right? But this one was funny. He said he had some funny jokes that he kept bringing back up. So I thought that was pretty funny. His dad passed away a couple weeks before the special, so he talks about that, and he has jokes about his dad because obviously he got a lot of material from his dad. All right, and say with your
You
chest.
good? You good?
Yeah.
He got beat.
So yeah,
You're
so
not supposed to say that, Dad.
yeah. So he has some more stories and what have you about his dad. So that stuff was funny. And he brings a bat to the stage. So he's carrying a bat. He gets off the plane with a bat and carries it onto the stage because of the Chris Rock situation. So he brings that up in there as well. I thought that was pretty funny. So it was pretty good, but it made me like the reason I talk about interview is because it made me go and I forgot that he had an interview special on Peacock. So I actually watched one of those for the first time. So I watched he has like 4 seasons. It's called Heart to Heart. So it's a play on his name. So HART to Heart to Heart. And he interviews people from like John Travolta to Jimmy Kimmel to Jay-Z.
Is that when he interviewed Don Cheadle?
Yes, he's like, damn.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay.
So that one's on there as well. But I jumped straight to the one for Jay-Z. I was like, oh, okay, I want to see this. He's really good at interviewing people. So I was just like, okay, I need to like obviously he's not talking about tech or cybersecurity or anything like that, but a good interview is a good interview. So I was like, I'm gonna start watching these because he actually does a really good job. Because he's funny and he knows these people, right? And he's able to draw out stuff as he's talking to them. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna start watching these. So I think I'm going to start from the beginning. I just want to jump straight to the one with Jay-Z. I was like, I want to see this one. But he talks about some stuff. I'm just like, because I used to follow him pretty heavily when he was dropping music, right? Like Reasonable Doubt all the way through the Black album. Then 444. Now he's talking about stuff I just don't understand.
You want
This
to
is
know?
billionaire Jay-Z.
You want to know something crazy? Is that I did not like 444 when it first came out, but I've started to listen to it a little bit more now, and I'm appreciating it. I don't know if it's I don't know.
That's because you got money now. That's what it
No,
sounds like.
I don't.
It's
No, no, no.
a,
I don't
you're
have no
like, oh,
Jay
I
Z.
get it. I get it now.
I don't have Jay Z money, but you say that though. He does have a song on there where he's talking about leaving money for his children, and it is thoughts that I have, right? Like, how am I setting my children up
Right.
to where when I'm no longer here, with a trust and a will and things of that nature, right? So, I don't know. Maybe you are on to something. Maybe because I can relate a little bit
You
better. I
finally,
don't have Jay Z
it's
money.
clicking. It's
I,
clicking. It's just like, ah, yes. I see it now from the west wing of my home. I
that
see
ain't me.
I see how life could be better
That
now.
ain't me. That ain't me. But no, like this when I listened to it after, like the first run through, I was like, yeah, maybe one song, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh man, I don't know, it's kind of good. You know what I mean?
I might
Like,
have to go back because so it's for me the only bad album I would say was Kingdom Come. I did not like that album. It did not do it for me. Um,
yeah,
yeah, that was just like this is not your best. But 444 I listened to a couple times, but I haven't listened to it since doing the podcast with you. It's like maybe something to click now. I'll be like, oh, okay, that's why Shannon making these moves. Watching the storyline of his life post military. Um, I'll check it out again, but I'm interested in him dropping something new. But yeah, his music it's not that I could relate to his old music, right? I wasn't out there in the streets either. It just um, it's a different time, a different space. Like music was just better back then. I said it.
with you.
um, and then he's changed, right? Like now he has a mogul mindset. Right, he was already a mogul back then, right? With the rock and what have you. But you can see the growth and whatnot. He talks about that in the interview as well. Like he's like basically Kevin Hart's like you're leaving these gems for people to pick up on. It's like you were prosperous in your 20s, but then it really started to set in your 30s, right? So now you take that information, you give to somebody who's in their 20s so they can already have that and then build upon it quicker than you did. That's how you build generational wealth. It's just really good interview. I'm just like, yeah, exactly. Like, and most people are going like, ah, Jay fell off. Like, no, Jay became a billionaire and his wife's a billionaire. So,
What's better than one billionaire? Two,
two, yeah.
right?
So I think I thought it was a good interview. And the same thing with Kevin Hart, right? Like he has like all these different productions and stuff like that. Like he also took that money and he built an empire out of it. So it's just cool to see people in their craft and then seeing those two interact with each other. Um, it's just it's a good look, and it also they do drop some nuggets. Like I don't have the ability to pick up any of them right now, but perhaps one day, then I can give it to my son and daughter in their 20s, right? And then build from there. So I thought it was cool. Um, and then his interview style is just hilarious. Not funny like him, right? But some of the questions he asked are like, okay, that's something I can you know use in the future in interviews and what have you, because I want to get better at that as well. Um, and then that's pretty much it. I think I gotta watch Distraction. It's gotta happen.
You still haven't watched it, man?
No, because I jumped on
Um,
Silo. So, oh yeah, I didn't tell you I started Silo.
okay, so one of my coworkers was talking about Silo. He likes it. Um,
It's a very slow burn. It's good. It's
he
very slow burn.
he mentioned that he was like it is. He's like it's not very action type. He said, but
Mm.
he's like you just get to like okay when they send these people out like why is this happening, why is this,
Yeah,
they wipe the camera and then like
yeah,
he's talking about different things and he's like I actually like it, but the first season is done though, right? Like
yeah.
it's
First season is done. I think I'm
yeah.
on episode 4 or 5. Because it's a murder mystery. And that's what's helping to unfold the truth about the silo. And then you're figuring out like there's some stuff that's just not right with their history, because like they lost anything they only have back to 140 years. Anything past that, it's been destroyed. And if you find something from back then, you have to destroy it, or else you face consequences, right? And there's a whole
Mm,
judicial system, and there's like an underbelly. Common's in it, and Common's playing what we believe to be a bad guy, and he's doing a really good job. Like Common can act. Put it out there. Like everything he's in, I'm just like that dude can act.
mm.
Um, and I'm to the point where they're starting to figure out, um, like they already know something's not right, but they're starting to figure out what that not right is. Um, and I think it's pretty cool. They did show the outside, so they show the outside episode 2, but then even that has like there's more questions once you see it than answers. It's just like what the hell. But I think it's pretty good. But as soon as I'm gonna wrap that one up probably this week, and I'm gonna pivot to movies again. I need to get Distraction out the way. I need to get there's another one that just dropped. It's on Peacock. There's a movie that was in theaters. Um, Man, it'll come back to me after the show, but it's like a horror movie or something like that. I need one of those under my belt.
If it's on Peacock, it's what, NBC Universal, so it's a Universal picture,
Yeah,
probably. I don't know. Yeah.
yeah. But they have a lot of movies. A lot of movies just dropped on there as well. Like I think I'm still paying the 99 cent a month. So it already getting hooks in me. I'm just like, I'm not gonna be able to cancel this. And now the NFL is NFL Pass owned by YouTube? Do they have the license?
YouTube TV is going to be
How much does that cost?
Sunday ticket. I don't know. So you, but the thing is, I'm fairly they're doing it the same way DirecTV did, right? So like you being a YouTube TV customer gets you the access to purchase the Sunday ticket or whatever they're going to
Yeah.
call it for $300 a season.
Oh God.
Whatever it's going to be. Actually, I think it's more. I think it was like 400. When I saw it before, I was like, ooh, I was like, okay, but you got to pay for YouTube TV. I think it's like $50 a month, $40 a month, something like that.
Oh man, it's so
It's cheaper than DirecTV because for DirecTV, like you got to pay for like a cable package, right? So
yeah.
that was more than $40 a month or
So you're
whatever.
saying 40 times 12 plus 400.
Yeah, yeah, for the season.
Man, I might just have to not watch any, like watch my two Bills games to see.
But here's the thing, though. But here's the thing, though. The Bills are good, right? So they're going to get a lot of national games. You're going to see them more often because they're a
Yeah,
good
it's
team,
true.
right? So people want to see that. You're going to see them. If I was to guess, I don't know the national schedule. You're going to see the Bills at least 5 times, at least on the
Yeah,
national stage, like Monday night, Thursday night, Sunday night.
right. Probably
Like
get a Thanksgiving in there.
you know what I mean? Like you're gonna
Yeah,
see them 5 times nationally, and then they'll be playing throughout the week. Like on the Sundays, like you'll get it because here's the thing: they're in a division with Miami, and you're down there in Florida, right? So Miami
yeah,
will be a local game for you where you'll see at least that one when they come to Miami. You know what I mean? If it's not a primetime game.
right, right. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. That's a lot. That's a lot. But we'll see. We'll see what how the season unfolds. First off, because we made a lot of moves on off season, so we'll see how all that stuff comes together. And then people are starting getting angry, right? Because we're making it to the playoffs, we're not making it past. round one, round two. I'm just happy to be there. But I guess that's the wrong mindset. Once you get there, now you want more. Give me more.
Yeah, I hear you.
So, um, but yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Um, I think this week hopefully it'll be quiet, get me some Zelda in there, and finally watch Extraction 2 is the plan, unless something else pops off.
I'm gonna hit you up throughout the week and be like, "Hey man, you watch Extraction yet?" I'm like,
There's no reason for me not to watch. I just be like, I'm gonna like I go to click on it, I'm like, Silo. So because I know it's gonna be good. So
yeah,
I saw half of Fast 10 when I was
ha-
visiting family.
half of it. Why half of it?
I started watching it before the food was done. Once the food was done, I was like, all right, put this down. It's just as ridiculous as ever. I stopped at 5 is what I found out. Because 5 was the one where they were pulling the safes behind the car. And old boy was still in it.
Paul
What's his
Walker.
name? Paul Walker was still in it.
Yeah.
Um, this one picks up 10 picks up right at the end of 5. So like I'm watching the safe thing again. I was like, I've seen this, and then you've seen it from a different perspective. Because what's his face?
Jason Momoa.
Yeah, Jason Momoa is in it, and you're just like he wasn't in it before, and then you're like, oh okay, the dude is his dad. Yada yada yada. Funny, very funny, very unrealistic. Like
Yeah.
but in a funny way, right? They know, like the dude even says it. He was like he defies God and gravity. And the pre-life was like, you wrote that yourself, didn't you? Like, so there's a little meta humor in it as well. Um, but it didn't hook me enough to watch the second half. Like, I'll get to it whenever. One day, I'll watch the rest of the other half. It's just like John Cena was like beating people up in a house. Uh,
So, so here's my question: if it picks up where 5 left off, is Paul Walker supposed to be in it? Like, what do you?
no. So it's like, why is this happening? Because of the events of 5. So it shows the very end of that, and then there's when they flip to like one of the cars that was actually like doing some damage is Jason Momoa in the car. You're like, oh, okay, like now I see how they're gonna get their hooks in it, and then it takes off from there. So it has like everybody like the Fast and Furious cinematic universe is in it, where all these different people.
Is Fast and Furious Expendables? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's pretty much,
Yeah.
pretty much. And because I asked my son at one point, I was like, when did John Cena get in? And he was like, oh, that was like Fast, whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, like he's like the brother or something like that. I was like, it makes sense. That's why he's able to punch people through walls, and then he suplexes the guy through the floor. I'm like, this is ridiculous, but it's a good time.
So going through it originally, I only watched the first 2, and then I watched 8. Was it 8 or
Oh,
9?
you had a
7.
huge jump in
Oh yeah,
reality, because like the first 2 are grounded in reality.
yeah.
Even the third one, even because I think the third one is in
Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo,
Yeah,
and it's a little bit like starting to get kind of comical, but it's still they're really racing cars.
yeah,
Like now, like they're driving cars up buildings.
yeah.
He was chasing. It was a bomb, and like a neutrino bomb or whatever. It was like a sphere that was rolling down the steps of the Vatican, and he's able to tap it with the car and move it to make sure it doesn't roll over people.
It, I don't know. I can suspend disbelief, but like with some of the stuff they're doing, I'm like, man, come on. You know what I mean? Like Transporter, like taking the bomb off the bottom of the car with the crane.
With the
Like,
crane. Yep,
I'm like,
turn it like because you turn the wheel of the car,
yeah,
the whole car rotates.
yeah. Like, is that how that works?
That's how that works.
Yeah, but no, it's a little difficult for me to get into those. Like I said, I watched 9. So I watched the one where John Cena came in. I think that was 9. Yeah, 9, 8, and then I was gonna watch 7, and I was just like, nah, I don't know if I could do it, because 7 is the one that I think Paul Walker died during production. So they were
He made it that okay,
started
because I thought he died in like 6. I didn't know he made it that far.
7. He was partially 7 wasn't complete yet, and they used his brother
Oh, okay, okay.
body stand in, and I think they CGI'd his face.
With
I
his
think
face
is
on
what
him.
they ended up
Gotcha.
doing. Yeah, but his brother was the body double stand in. But I don't know. I just couldn't. It's not one that I would seek out, I guess you would say. So
Right, right. Yeah, it just so happened it was on. I was like, yeah, let me just hit the button, watch it. Um, so I don't knock anybody who likes them. I mean, it's like watching it.
sure.
It's like watching wrestling. right? It's
For
it's
sure.
pure entertainment. It
I don't.
just doesn't hold my attention.
Same thing. I don't want to make it seem like I'm poo-pooing people that watch it. I'm just anything I say is just not for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm not one to be like, how can people do this? Ah, you're dumb. And I'm not saying that at all. But
yeah. But yeah, that pretty much. I said this like four times already, but that pretty much wraps it up for me. But yeah, hopefully everybody continues to tune in. We're back to our regular scheduled programming. Like I said, I have a bunch of interviews lined up for those Thursdays. I'm going to always try to keep one in the can in case you need to take a break. Is the plan. We'll see how that works out. And then from there, just work. And then summer will end, right? Kids will go back to school. Um, and then we'll be in the holidays. This year is flying by. Like I can't believe already half of it's already over.
for
Yeah,
sure, it's flying. But I think that's us being adults now, right? So like I can remember my parents saying to me, "Time will fly," when you have
yeah,
children. And I'm like, nah.
yeah. Because
And
summer felt like forever. Like I'm like, damn, they already going back. Like that was fast. But hey, it is what it is. But I guess that means we're enjoying ourselves, right? Because time moves faster when you enjoy yourselves. So
yeah, that's true.
there it is. Definitely continue to tune in throughout the weeks. Monday and Tuesday are topics. Wednesdays, discussion, and then Thursdays, like I said, we'll try to have an interview lined up from here on out. You see how that flows, but then you have this episode, everything else. So definitely continue to tune into those, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff that I always forget to say. And then we will see you next week. Stay safe, stay secure.